Most leaseholders don't realize this. The value of the property can fall simply because the lease is getting shorter, and extending that lease can cost tens of thousands of pounds, if not more. In this video, we'll break down what a lease extension is, the two main ways to obtain one, and the key legal differences. So what is a lease extension? A lease extension replaces your existing lease with a new, longer lease, usually for a premium. It extends the ownership and protects the value. The new lease is typically on similar terms, but with changes to the length and the ground rent. There are two main routes to extend your lease. Number one, a statutory lease extension, and number two, a voluntary lease extension. So let's have a look at statutory lease extension. Under the Leasehold Reform Housing and Urban Development Act 1993, qualifying flat owners have a legal right to extend. This gives them 90 years added to the term, a peppercorn rent, zero ground rent, in return for a premium. So having a look at the process, the tenant serves a Section 42 notice setting out the property, proposed premium, lease terms, and a date for the response. The landlord then replies with a Section 45 counter notice. If terms aren't agreed, then the tribunal decides. So looking at advantages, it's clear legal right, structured process, and long-term protection. The disadvantages, often more expensive due to the valuation rules and costs, including marriage value where applicable. And if the property is mortgaged, the lender must be protected. In practice, this is dealt with through the lender's consent and a deed of substitution or equivalent security arrangement. The Act also allows limited update to lease terms, such as removing outdated or unreasonable provisions. So now let's have a look at the voluntary lease extension. This is negotiated directly with the landlord, and the process is whereby the tenant negotiates the term length, the premium, the ground rent, and any lease changes. Once agreed, a new lease or variation is completed. Similarly, the lender must be dealt with again. This is typically done using a deed of substitution, ensuring the lender's security continues over to the new lease. So having a look at the ground rent, this is the key difference. Typically, ground rent continues for the remaining existing term. For the extended period, it reduces to a peppercorn. This can reduce the premium but affect the value. Looking at the advantages, there are flexibility and potential cost negotiation. However, there is no certainty. The landlord can refuse and terms may be less favourable. So when we're having a look at the terms of the new lease, most terms remain the same. However, changes may be made to fix defects, update outdated provisions, and adjust the property extent. So having a look at the reforms, the leasehold reform is ongoing. The recent proposals aim to reduce costs, remove marriage value, standardise valuation, and extend terms up to 990 years. The direction is clear, stronger leaseholder rights. However, as mentioned, it's still ongoing. If you own a leasehold property, understanding lease extensions is critical because delaying can significantly increase the costs. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be grateful if please like, comment and subscribe to Legal Development Limited for more. Thank you.